Thank you for watching. If you enjoy our content and want to show support, please subscribe, share, and follow. It goes a long way and helps the channel grow and be heard. Thank you.
Welcome back. This is Esoteric-Truth Radio, and I am your host, Trinity. I want to be able to cover some of the information that came out about exactly what type of so-called businesses Jeffrey Epstein was in. So he had, and this is an article in May of 2013. Here's where some of the stuff gets weird. So it says initially the Jeffrey MC VI. Now, VI stands for Virgin Islands. So it says in the past, a list of the past recipients is also with illustrations. In 2011, Mr. Epstein founded, supported numerous youth organizations and initiatives, including Youth Lifeline America, weird, Zero Tolerance Basketball, the Rising Steel Youth Orchestra, the St. Thomas YWCA, the St. Thomas Baseball Explorers, and countless high schools, elementary schools, and colleges, universities, and graduate schools across the United States and the world. Now, here are the numbers of here are some of the foundations that he so-called supported. The Humane Society of St. Thomas, Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands, United Way of St. Thomas St. John, Humanity Plus, Family Resource Center Incorporated, the Criminal Justice Executive Institute, the YMCA and YWCAs across the country, and various special education programs. Now, we know a lot of stuff happened over there in the Virgin Islands. Now, we have the House Democrat. Her name is Stacey Plaskett. She got called out for having texts between herself and Jeffrey Epstein. And here is where I go back to saying that the Democrats have something to do with it. I actually watched the hearing and then watched what she said afterwards and the people that backed her up. So here's the report. During the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and the public at large offering advice, support, and in some cases, partisan vitriol, including from Epstein. Plaskett's spokesperson, Angeline Jabbar, said in a statement to CNN, quote, as a former prosecutor, she welcomes information that helps her get at the truth and took on the GOP that was trying to bury the truth. The Congresswoman had previously made her long record combating sexual assault and human trafficking, her disgust over Epstein's deviant behavior, and her support of his victims. The texts, first reported by the Washington Post, were released Wednesday as part of roughly 20,000 pages of documents made public by the House Oversight Committee. The released text redacted the name of the person Epstein was texting with on February 27, 2019, the day former Trump personal attorney Michael Cohen testified to the House Oversight Committee about the president's conflict of interest, business practices, and payments to Trump's alleged mistress to silence their stories before the 2016 elections. And we already know how that went. Michael Cohen actually went to jail, and he speaks against Trump now. At the time, Epstein had already been convicted of 2 state prostitution charges, which he received 13 months for. A few months after the text exchange took place, he would be charged with sex trafficking minors. Epstein had ties to the U.S. territory because he managed to maintain a home on Little St. James in the Virgin Islands, which he acquired in 1998 and purchased nearby Great St. James in 2016. And that's according to the lawsuit that was filed in 2020. In exchange, Epstein texted Plaskett, quote, Cohen bought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, referring to a misspelled first name of Rona Graff, a longtime Trump assistant. Plaskett responded, Rona, she added at 2:25 p.m., quote, quick, I'm up on it. I'm up next, in that an acronym suggesting that she should be questioning Cohen soon. Epstein responded, quote, that's his assistant. At 2:28 p.m., Plaskett began questioning Cohen and asked about Graff, along with other Trump associates he had mentioned, according to the Post. In another text, Epstein told Plaskett, quote, good work, at 2:34 p.m., a minute after Plaskett wrapped up her questioning, the Post reported. The trove of documents released earlier this week show that Epstein mentioned President Donald Trump multiple times in private emails. The release came amid renewed pressure on Congress and the Trump administration to release more documents related to Epstein. So, the reason why I bring her up is that all of this was happening in the Virgin Islands. All of it. It has a lot to do with her and it has a lot to do with the person that came before her and the person that came before that. There had to be a reason. And there's no way nobody knew about it. There's no way. I think she knew about it. I think that she was working for Epstein. I think that because of the amount of money that he was bringing to the Virgin Islands, the amount of money that, whether it's tourism or taxes that he was paying, having money in banks, she knew. She knew. With that said, everything that he was involved in, all of it, mostly had to do with children. The article I read to you was from 2013. That's not something recent. That is something, again, that presidents knew, that Congress knew, that everybody knew, and they were terrified if this information came out. The fact that she got busted last year and she came out and they were like, they're going to censure her, that she should be thrown out of Congress because she had something to do with Epstein, that the text should have never came out. With that also being said, Trump is trying to prosecute, shit, I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, for checking people's emails and texts right before January 6th. So this is how they got the information in the text from her. She's helping to cover it up. She has to. The fact that knowing what she knew about what was happening on the island and then becoming a so-called advocate against human trafficking put her in a very, very smart place where she can claim that shit don't happen there when she clearly knew that it did and that she knows. She would have more information about the beginning part of all of this. Do you think that is not weird? Back in 2013, he had an entire foundation that dealt with children, and he named that foundation his name, and Virgin Islands right after it. That connect is going to keep on going. They didn't get to silence her. People came up and they were like, she's the best person in the world. Why would you even accuse her? She said that he was a constituent and that, she has every right to legally have a conversation with him, that that's her job. And then everybody kind of just let it go. Knowing how many people and how many children and how long this was happening is terrifying. Because again, this is something way larger than we would have thought. Democrats and Republicans are in on it. They have been in on it. And this is why nobody has brought it up. And then this dum-dum decided to make it part of his platform and brought everything back up. That was him. He did that. Even though he knows he's implicated. I mean, a lot. And knowing that Riley's coming out and saying he was the boss, that just makes it worse on his part. Because we know he can't play dumb anymore. He can't. He's going to do everything in his power to not let those files come out. And you know how the Democrats are helping out? By allowing them time to redact. The both of them, right? You got the left wing, the right wing, same bird. After this, I am going to cover the information about the woman or the child that came out and said that she was pregnant and the incident on the boat. So I made a connect between the Congresswoman Plackett and her information discussed with Epstein, and then all the things that he was doing over there and how everything was connected. That plane was going over there. he knew he could get away with that shit there. So, with that being said, I'm going into the next part, and it's going to be in reference to the allegations of the young woman who was pregnant and the incident that she alleges happened. I'm going to be able to pull up some very old information concerning that. Okay, so if you stayed this long, if you enjoy my work and you'd like to support that, please like, share, and follow on. Oh, I just went and started putting stuff up on YouTube. So it's Esoteric Truth Radio, and I'm on Rumble and Facebook. So thank you for taking the time. I hope that the information that I'm putting out there is sufficient and thorough. So I will talk to you guys soon.